It's 7 o'clock. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing on ordinance consenting to the addition of 25.57 acres of real property in the Batesburg-Leesville Industrial Park into the multi-county industrial park with the County of Lexington and County of Calhoun. Is there anyone who would like to speak from the public? Okay, at this time I will close the public hearing on the ordinance consenting to the addition of 25.57 acres of real property in the Batesburg-Leesville Industrial Park into the multi-county industrial park with the County of Lexington and County of Calhoun. At this time, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Town of Batesburg-Leesville, regular council meeting, agenda June the 10th, 2019. It is 7 p.m. in our beautiful Town Hall complex. And at this time, I would ask Pastor Scott Nurse, if you would, come up to the podium and lead us in an invocation. Pastor Scott is with St. John's Methodist.
Let us pray. Gracious and almighty Lord, you have blessed us with this beautiful town that we live in this wonderful place. We pray tonight for our councilmen and for all those who are assembled here. We pray that your wisdom is poured out upon them. Inspire them to do what is best for this town and the citizens that live here. Give them a spirit of unity, a spirit of politeness and love, and a spirit that reflects the best that we can be. Help them, Lord, to make the proper decisions that you would wish them to make, and make those decisions that best benefit us as citizens of Batesburg-Leesville. We pray this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, we pledge allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This time, item 4, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Prowse, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Susan? Thank you. Do I have a second? Any discussion? District 1? To approve the agenda?
District 1 votes yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The agenda has been approved. Moving on to the adoption of the minutes. The first step would be the regular council meeting on May 13th. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Susan? And second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Cynthia. Any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Those minutes for the May 13th have been approved. Item B, council work session, May 15th, 2019. Do I have a motion to adopt those minutes?
So moved.
Mr. Prowse, do I have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Whittle. Any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. Those minutes have been adopted. Moving on to item C, council work session, May 21st, 2019. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Mr. Prowse, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Whittle. Do I have any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to the minutes of our council special meeting, May 30th, 2019. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Mr. Prowse, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Etheridge, any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the meetings have been adopted. Moving on to item 6, Mayor's Report. The next regular council meeting will be July 8th, 2019. Council Committee's report. Councilman Olin Gambrell is not here. Councilor Charles Sipkins, who's also on the COG, is not here. Jason Prowse, Environmental Planning Advisory Committee.
EPAC did not meet this month. Nothing to report.
Thank you. And Joint Municipal Water and Sewer Commission will actually meet tomorrow night. It's one of our off months where the dates are switched up. And at this time, item C, Mr. Mike Taylor, if you would give the BO Chamber of Commerce update.
Thank you, sir. I think y'all are aware that on the morning of May the 20th, Kelly Miller Circus rolled into town bright and early, about 8 o'clock, set up their tents. They had 2 shows, one at 5:30 and one at 8. I think everybody enjoyed themselves tremendously. I was out there early and watched people coming in. It was a very diverse group. They were young and old, and everybody seemed to have a good time. I want to thank the town for the co-sponsorship, the employees for the help and so forth during that event. Thanks so much. Dream Catchers will be sponsoring a drone summer camp for the weeks of July 22nd, July the 29th, and August 5th. The days will be Monday through Thursday from 9 until 12 noon. People will be provided breakfast in the camp pilots at 8:30 each morning and lunch at noon. Dream Catchers have purchased 20 drones and the necessary curriculum and software for the camp from Andrew Sipkins Innovation Foundation. ASI is donating 17 Chromebooks to the Dream Catchers. Training for all teachers, interns, and aides will be provided on Saturday, July the 6th from 10 to 2. There will be a final competition on Saturday, August the 10th for the pilots to demonstrate what they have learned to their families and the community. This has been made possible by generous grants from Faith Lutheran Church as well as Whitburg Church. Dream Catchers will be asking for businesses of the community to sponsor drones, so we'll see whose drone wins the competition. All the purchase may be used in subsequent years, so the initial outlay of cash or money will be for the first year. I know I mentioned before about the Arts on the Ridge camps. We have 70 children at this time signed up for the visual, choral, and performing arts camp at Batesburg-Leesville Middle School. As I mentioned earlier, the generosity of the businesses and churches, we are truly blessed in this community that these camps can come before us, and we're blessed to have those so generous in our community. We really, truly are. I won't go into detail, but I mentioned at the last town council meeting about the free heart health screening that we have the 19th of this month. Anybody interested, please needs to call me so we can set up an appointment. Since the last town council meeting, I have represented Batesburg-Leesville Chamber of Commerce at 2 meetings that were held outside the community. At a convening of the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce, Melanie Parton, Executive Director of South Carolina Education Oversight Committee, reviewed the South Carolina Free Opportunity and Access for All Act. The goal of the legislation is to have at least 6% of working age South Carolinians to have a post-secondary degree or recognized industry credential by 2030. Currently, South Carolina, 43.7% of working age adults have post-secondary degrees or industry credentials. I also received information on income and sales tax legislation. One other thing, the Coordinating Council Committee under the Miller's Business Leadership Group was set up to take focused action on livability-related projects and lead the charge to integrate more diverse young people in positions of leadership within our community. At our first meeting, we proposed 18 different projects for the Millers area. The top 6 were given to their board of directors, and they chose 4 to hand down to our committee. I have chosen to be involved in how to cultivate more diverse young people into positions of leadership. I just want you to know your chamber works hard to be active within the community and to represent all of us in our concerns outside the community. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. Appreciate it. Moving on to item 7, public comment regarding items on the agenda. Ms. Judy, do we have anyone? No one for this evening. Moving on to item 8, unfinished business. Letter A, second reading of the ordinance consenting to the addition of the 25.57 acres of real property in the Batesburg-Leesville Industrial Park into the multi-county industrial park with the County of Lexington and County of Calhoun. Do I have a motion to accept second reading?
So moved.
Mr. Proust, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Whittle, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, how many jobs is that industry that's coming? How many jobs are they going to be bringing to the town?
The industry is C.R. Jackson, and the primary industry is an asphalt plant. And at the location, my understanding, it's 6 to 8 jobs at the location.
How
And
many
you will
new
have
jobs are they creating? That's what I'm asking.
brand new jobs. Would they be brand new hires because this is a brand new plant, I'm assuming? 6 to 8 brand new jobs? And then whatever truck drivers that would be used to haul the asphalt. I mean, which, you know, you can't really count, but it would be a residual benefit of those drivers eating or whatever.
So we got your word, we're gonna get 6 new jobs. I'm writing it down. Is that
Um,
right?
Well, that's the word of C.R. Jackson. I don't own that
I'm
company.
saying, who's here representing C.R. Jackson? Nobody?
We do have Lexington County represented this evening, if you would like to address Mr. Mike Eads.
You guaranteeing us six new, brand new jobs, right?
No, sir, I'm not guaranteeing you that. The company told us that's what they're going to do. That's our best guess. And you know how that business works.
No, I don't.
It's seasonal at best.
So it's not gonna be 6 full-time jobs?
It'll be full-time in season, yes, sir.
Full-time, so it's still part-time. So out of season, it won't be full-time.
I didn't understand your question, sir.
You said it would be full-time in season. How long is the season?
As long as it's warm.
Okay, so about 120
You
days.
can't make asphalt below a certain temperature.
I understand. So about 100, you're gonna get 6 part-time jobs for 120 days, right?
I don't know what season they're in, sir.
Okay, all right. That's all I have.
They're talking about 6 months.
Right.
Because
Also,
about 6 to 7 months, because my nephew does concrete, so I know what I'm talking about. It's about 6 to 7 months. And they will be hiring truck drivers,
Yes, ma'am.
but will they be hiring truck drivers from this area?
I don't have any idea, ma'am. I don't know whether the new trucks, new drivers, we have no control of
How
that.
many are they bringing in with them?
Ma'am, I don't know.
and Mike, you know, the reason why I asked the question is because, you know, we were sold that Fisher Tank was coming as a brand new industry into the industrial park and was gonna bring other industries into the industrial park. And they brought one job. And I don't even know if that job was somebody that was from Batesburg that was hired. So I just wanna be clear, so everybody's clear, you know, when the spin machine comes out, and it's, you know, we're growing because we got a new industry in the industrial park. What we're talking about seasonal jobs, maybe 6 months. So I trust that somebody in Lexington County is working every day to try to get us somebody else in that industrial park, because we need jobs in Batesburg. We don't need one job, we don't need seasonal jobs, we need to put our folks to work. So I'm gonna vote for this, but I'm letting you know that that's what we need in that industrial park, please.
Understand, sir?
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, vote. Again, the motion is to accept the second reading of the ordinance for the 25.57 acres in the industrial park. District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 3,
Just 3 votes, yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Second reading has passed. Moving on to new business, item 9. A, approval of a supportive municipal jail agreement between the town and Lexington County. And my understanding, this is An agreement is related to or support the magistrates assigned to the town, establish a backup magistrate to no additional expense to the town. Mr. Luckadoo, would you like to, actually, let's see. If I could, let's get, I'd ask for a motion to approve and then we'll go into discussion if we could.
Well, we just, it's fine.
Well, I'd like to get the motion on the floor and then we'll discuss.
Okay. but-
Because I'd like to address, if you want to address Mr. Luckadoo, then I would like to do it inside the discussion.
I understand what you're saying, but
Mhm.
it makes more sense for us to know what we're voting on before we vote on it and get into a discussion about it.
I summarized from the packet that went out, but Ms. Luckadoo, would you like to summarize?
Sure. Lexington County requested from the town that we update. We've had this agreement, this supportive agreement for the magistrate judges in place for years. Last updated in 2015, but they have asked us, the new chief magistrate has been put into place, and they've come back and want to update the agreement to add a backup magistrate judge
So this is a legal.
to the agreement. Currently, there is not a backup. But secondly, they wanted to establish by name who the primary magistrate would be, and by name who the backup magistrate would be. As the mayor stated, the only changes are adding the names into it and establishing the backup. There's no change in the compensation or anything that goes along with that, so.
Is this a legal document? Is this a legal document? A contract?
It's a support
That's something
agreement.
that we should probably discuss in executive session. Has anybody seen the contract?
Is
It was in the package.
in the packet.
Did we discuss the
It was
contract?
in the packet, it was in our packet. We haven't discussed it in an executive session, but I don't know if it say it. Is it in a contract? Is it an
It's a support agreement.
So it's not necessarily in a, I mean,
It's a support agreement. It's the same agreement we've had for years with them, and it was included in the packet, the entire agreement, so that it can be read.
Mr. Mayor, may I?
yes, Ms. Will?
I think we should get this on the table so that we can have discussion. So I make a motion that for the approval of the supported municipal judge agreement.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Prowse. Now let's discuss.
Mr. Mayor, my feeling on this is it would be, I think it's gives some comfort to our judicial system to know who we're relying on. So, and I have read the contract, and I would be totally supportive of this as long as if those two weren't available for some reason, we aren't left without one. But I don't see any reason not to have the names of the people, of the judges, so that we know who we're counting on.
Thank you, Ms. Will. Any other discussion?
Does this commit us for any specific term?
There's a 60-day out notice in this.
I'm saying, how long is the agreement for?
Until such time as someone gives a 60-day notice.
So it's an open-ended,
Right. If we ended up not liking something, we can provide a 60-day written notice and terminate this.
Steve, it's item number 6 on here.
I've read it, yeah, it's just not, I personally, I prefer that, I got it.
You good?
Yeah, but personally, I prefer that when we have contracts and agreements, that we discuss those in executive session at some length, and not just have it, presented at the council meeting, and all of a sudden, it's a perfunctory agreement, that's all.
Mhm.
I'm not objecting to the nature of the contract, but just the process, I guess.
Okay, any other discussion?
I call for the vote.
Okay, if you call for the vote, then we're gonna have to take a vote for calling for the vote.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Would you like to
No,
just withdraw your
I
motion?
withdraw.
Okay, thank you. This would be we have a motion by Ms. Whittle and a second by Mr. Prowse for the approval of supportive municipal judge agreement between the town and Lexington County. District 1,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes no.
District 5,
I would like more information and, before we vote on this. I don't think
we
we
need
should
to,
vote on something blind.
we're in the vote, ma'am, right now. So I need your vote. Yes, ma'am, we're in the vote.
No.
Discussion is ended.
I said
No?
I think she
Okay,
just
thank
let
you.
her know.
Got it. District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and Mayor votes yes, it has been approved. Moving on to item B, approval of funds for repairs needed to the fire department, brush truck, and tanker truck. Mr. Legacy, if you would, is this something that you would like to present, sir? Or would you like?
I would ask Chief Hendricks
to
to come.
present. Thank you.
Good evening. You should have a white paper in your packet that covers the background of the two trucks in question. The brush truck, in April, we discovered some knocking sounds in the engine. It was diagnosed as needing to be replaced. It's on the verge of blowing. I am not a mechanic by any means. I'll refer to Jeremy on that one, but so we were advised at that time not to use it anymore. The three quotes that we received, you see them towards the bottom of the page, $18,365 for a Jasper engine instead of a Ford engine from Carolina Chassis Dyno. Superior Automotive of $17,499.16, again, Jasper motor, and then Cromley Ford at $16,122, but that was for a Ford engine. This is a 6.0 liter diesel, and it would be replacing the existing 6.0. My understanding is the Jasper engine has some design features that the Ford does not and is more reliable. So the recommendation from myself and from Fleet Services was to go with the Superior Automotive quote, the one in the middle, for the Jasper engine. Tanker 264, a totally different issue there. That's our 2001 tanker. We discovered a leak early May, shortly before the Poultry Festival. We had M&M fire apparatus come in. They dropped the pump. It had a rusted back plate on the pump. They described it as being due to hard water. As they took it apart to see if there was any further damage, they also discovered a strainer. Strainers are used to keep trash and rocks and stuff from getting into the pump. It had been sucked into one of the vanes on the pump and was clogging it. So there would be repairs to the vane, the impeller vane, and also replacing the back plate. And the repairs to those items was $5,476.03. Obviously, we currently are operating down about 25% on our apparatus. One of our two tankers is out of service in our brush truck. So we've been fortunate the last week to have a lot of rain, but prior to that, we were about 25 days or so without rain. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, Jay, what happened to, we just recently purchased a vehicle.
This is that, you talking about,
This is
you talking
the
about the pickup truck, or you talking about the brush truck?
brush truck.
This one was purchased by the volunteers through fundraising in fall of 2017.
Was this the one that we got from Gilbert somewhere?
Yes, this came from Gilbert Summit. We did what was called bulletproofing to the motor. As it was described to me, again, I am far from a mechanic, that essentially repairs some damage to the top side of the motor. The knocking is coming from the bottom side of the motor, and it would require much more extensive repairs, and it's recommended to go ahead and replace the engine. But yes, that is the same truck.
What was the thing on top that we were supposed to sell to?
Yeah, we sold the older brush truck skid unit that we had. That happened in this current budget year. I'm pretty sure that was in this budget year. And that money went back into the revenue line item for the town. It's not related to, those are, the pump on the back is separate from the actual engine of the truck.
All right, so how much did we pay for the truck?
The department, out of fundraising money paid, I believe it was $6,000, and then out of
The $6,000 truck is costing us $18,000.
I see.
I got you.
I see the challenge there.
Yeah.
And then the town had done repairs of about another $6,000 to the motor that has.
How much is a brand new truck?
Well, just to buy the pickup, to buy the chassis, would be 50 to 60,000. We feel that the truck itself has plenty of life. It's just the motor itself is shy. But yeah, to replace the chassis would be $50,000 to $60,000.
Do you think Jeremy can fix it?
No, Jeremy cannot. Jeremy can't. No offense, Jeremy. But
I'm just messing with you, Jeremy.
But this one, it's like a 26-hour repair. They actually, on these models of truck, you have to pull the cab up off the chassis to even get the engine out. And with our little shop, we just don't have any of the lifting apparatuses to hold that big thing up.
I'm just joking with you.
I know, but it's just.
I know you can do it if you.
It's crazy with these Fords, there's engines so far back that just about any Ford heavy-duty truck, the cab has to come up off of it, you're looking at just bare frame and engine on it. I wish we did have it,
Mr. Mayor?
to be able to save it, but, you know, with only having one of these type of vehicles, it's just not feasible for us to buy specialty equipment for one vehicle kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you tell me about what's the life of this truck once we fix it?
Our anticipation, the previous brush truck was 30 years old when we took it out of service, and we fully expect to get another 15 years out of this unit.
And just out of curiosity, what's our closest other, until we get this up and running, what's our other closest brush truck?
The next closest is Hollow Creek, which is about 12 miles away. That's at 378 Priceville, and then Fairview Crossroads, which is about equal distance.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Jay, what kind of, I'm hopeful there's some kind of warranty that comes with the Jasper engine.
It was, we'd have to pull it up.
There is some type of
That
warranty.
packet I sent.
Yeah, he puts that on the link. I don't have that information, but there was some type of warranty, yes.
So it's a brand new Jasper engine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that was great, is my understanding.
Did anybody do the math? At 18,000, if we finance a new one, for 30 years instead of 15 years.
I mean, if you'd like to make a motion to buy a new brush truck, I'm all ears, but.
I'm just thinking, you know, it's gonna be, if it's a 30-year deal, we get long term. You know, we get a long-term thing on it.
The truck itself, again, the chassis that we have is in good shape. The mileage is very low considering it's 2003. It has not got a lot of miles. I know that's not the only measure of a fire truck, but the mileage is not that high.
If you good with it, I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I would have a tougher time to justify going and spending $50,000 or $60,000 to upgrade it. To go with the $18,000 upgrade would take care of us, and we'd be in good position for at least 10 to 15 years until after I retire. So it'll be somebody else's problem.
We all.
Okay. I mean, I'm already retired, but I'll be retired at that point. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Henry.
Thank you. Vote yes.
So again, this is approval of funds for repairs requested is $23,000 in funds to the fire department, brush truck, and tanker truck. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve, Mr. Price. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second with that, Ms. Etheridge. Any other discussion? District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes, funds have been approved. Moving on to item C, approval of contractor and funding for sidewalk repairs utilizing the C funds awarded by Lexington County. This is so these are the sidewalks, yeah, this is the C funds from Lexington County for just spot sidewalk repairs, looking at Wilson Street, Perry, South Fair Street. Mr. Luckett, do you want to give a little more information on that, on the sidewalk fund, C
Sure.
funds?
We're asking council to select the lowest responsible bidder to make these sidewalk repairs to the existing sidewalks. Wilson Street, just for clarification, from South Perry Street to South Fair Street, and from South Fair Street to Charleston Avenue along Wilson Street. Additionally, we've asked to repair some damaged sections that have become very visibly damaged. One is right in front of, on Pine Street, right in front of where Milton Shealy Funeral Home, Dr. Hannah's is. It's bowed up, and a wheelchair couldn't access if it wanted to at this point. As well, Palmetto Financial Services, if you haven't seen the section out in front of that, somehow it's bowed upwards. And then right in front of the Lifelong Learning Center, Walgreens area, we've had some sections become very badly damaged in that area. So we're asking at this point, we did receive 5 bids. It was posted on the state procurement website and the town's website. Staff is recommending CBD Incorporated to perform up to $30,000 in the repairs to existing sidewalks. And again, this $30,000 are funds that have been graciously given to us by Lexington County and voted on by County Council.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask Ted a question?
Yep.
Ted, of this list, we're going to spend $30,000, you're requesting $30,000. That will take care of this whole list.
What we did was we bid a lot more than what $30,000 can cover. And that was to really get an itemized idea, kind of looked at this big grouping of needs that we have. And really CBD's bid come out to $51,743. But what we've done is we've gone back and done more of a kind of a priority on some of these sections that are greatly damaged that we need to take care of, but sticking with the Wilson Street, the majority of it being Wilson Street, which is what we applied to Lexington County to do primarily for these C funds. So it's not going to take care of whatever's not taken care of out of this will remain on the list along with any other sections that are called in by the community or given to us by council or that we see ourselves that need to be fixed. And we'll just keep a running list and every year continue to apply for funds and continue to fix the others that aren't done this year.
So just to clarify, is this the entire list, or these are the ones that we think we can do for $30,000?
That was really what the Wilson Street is what we had primarily applied for this year, but we had the Palmetto Financial and a couple of these other sections that kind of showed themselves over the past couple of months, so they were added to the list when bidding took place.
So we don't know that we'll get those. Is Wilson Street our first priority?
We'll, down at the bottom of the white paper, in speaking with CBD, that list right there, we feel good that we should be able to get done with the $30,000 request.
And just out of curiosity, how many more places, serious locations do we have on our list?
Seth could probably better, he
5, 10,
maintains that
20?
list.
I'd hate to put a number on it. It's obviously the other section of Wilson Street that we're not covering this time, and it's just a growing list and it's a rolling list, just depending on what's going on and what people have pointed out to us. So it ever grows, and each year we're able, like Ted said, to tackle certain portions of it. So.
Could I ask you to provide us with that list?
Sure,
Just so
absolutely.
Thank you.
How many of these places are in Batesburg?
About every bit of it is in Bay. Palmetto Financial Services is kind of right in the middle portion of town, but the Lifelong Learning Center to Walgreens area, to the area in front of Dr. Hannah's, to Wilson Street.
That's Leesville.
all of
Walmart's
that.
Leesville, but I'm talking about Batesburg. How many streets are in Batesburg that you're gonna repair?
Almost every bit of it has Batesburg address.
10. So the application was for Wilson Street. But so how you?
We're approving the contractor.
Well, I
to do
understand.
work, Right.
And we reached out to
That's
the
for
county
everyone, the
and
body.
communicated about these other.
For the body, it's the approval of the contractor to do the
What I'm
sidewalk.
saying, what you did was you said, okay, you told
whoever the state, that we're gonna fix Wilson Street. And what you're saying is, we can fix Wilson Street and some other stuff with that amount of money. Is that what, you stretching the money? How is that?
No, it's not Wilson Street and some other stuff. Some of this other stuff became a little bit more of a priority over the both sides.
Do they know that?
Yes, we communicated, we contacted Public Works and talked with them about some of these other needs that popped up, and they were fine.
Okay, looking for a motion, staff's recommendation is to select CBD Inc. to perform the repairs. So on this item, we are actually looking for a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. Proust, do I have a second?
Mr. Mayor, could we just be clear, a motion to approve CBD Incorporated?
CBD
to perform up to 30,000.
To form up, okay, thank you very much. Mr. Proust, if you could,
Repeat that.
please.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the contract for CDB Incorporated to perform up to 30,000 repairs to existing sidewalks throughout the town, understanding that funding is being provided by the Lexington County Seed Fund.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Whittle. Now, any more discussion? Okay. If there's no more discussion, I'll call for the votes. District 1,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes. The contractor has been approved. Moving on to approval of contractor and funding related to new security gates at the water treatment plant.
Water treatment plant and wastewater treatment?
Water treatment.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the contractor and the funding related to that new security gate at the water treatment plant.
A motion to approve.
I second.
Mr. Proust, second. And Mrs. Whittle. And now let's enter discussion.
They don't already have security gate?
Okay. In our most recent survey by DHEC, and which led to them updating the DHEC consent order that the town has, one of the items that is within this consent order calls for us to install new security fencing at the water treatment plant so that it remains closed at all times, and that it limits accessibility to that property except for authorized personnel. We did go out and solicit the bids through RFP on the state's procurement website as well as the town's website to install a new automatic security gate that has pull-up, exit automated system, battery backup system, and it would relocate some of the existing fencing that's there so that people don't have to sit in the middle of the roadway while the fence opens. It would allow them the ability to pull off of the roadway to remain, while the gate opens. And so we've got the RFPs back for that, and 2 showed up for the pre-bid conference that we had, and 1 submitted a bid, and that being Palmetto Southern Incorporated out of Lexington.
Who was the other one?
The other one that showed up,
Yeah.
take 1 second. Did we put that in the white paper?
It's an A1 Fence Company.
Yeah.
A1 Fence
A1
Company, yeah,
Fence.
it's right there. A1 Fence Company, but Palmetto Southern Incorporated was the only one that provided a bid for this job. Our total funding request is for $30,000, which would be utilized from the utility funds capital improvement account. Just to note, DHEC consent order does call for completion of this project by August 2nd, 2019. If approved tonight, Palmetto Southern anticipates any new project starting in a 4 to 6 week time frame with 3 to 4 weeks to complete the project, which would put the project completion right at that August 2nd timeline.
What's the price?
funding request is 30,000.
Now, how many other items are on that consent order?
At this point, it's the raw water source, additional source is the chemical metering pumps, which are low cost, and we've been able to order and get fixed through the water treatment plant repairs
How
line.
many things that's not done? That's on the consent order.
The fence is one, the additional source of raw water is two. The pumps are about to be done, so really two at this point will be left undone on the new consent.
So you telling me that after we do the fence, the raw water is the next thing then?
The raw water would be the last thing that we have to handle on the new consent.
Any other discussion? District 1,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes no.
District 5,
Yeah, go ahead.
District 6,
Yes,
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes. It passes. Moving on to item E, first reading ordinance consenting to the addition of 1.76 acres of real property in the Batesburg-Leesville Industrial Park into the multi-county industrial park of the county of Lexington and Calhoun. So this is an additional property.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt this ordinance.
A motion to adopt by Mr. Prowse, a second.
You just
Do I have a,
anything.
do I have a
why
second?
couldn't we do?
Do I have a second?
This is pretty straightforward.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Second, Ms. Woodle. Any discussion? Now it's open for discussion, please. Thank you.
What's the property being used for?
This is going to be for G2 Machining and Palmetto Precision Polymers, LLC, a company that has decided to come to Lexington County, want to come into the industrial park. It's actually two companies coming together. Mr. Mike, would you like to speak on this right now?
Was there a specific question?
Specific question, I think Mr. Kane wanted to know how many jobs.
How many jobs y'all bring?
Probably about 3 or 4.
Yeah. Okay, so Casey, West Columbia got Domino's. How many jobs did they bring?
75.
And how much did they pay?
How much do they pay?
Yeah, roughly.
$25 an hour.
Okay, so why can't we get one of those companies in here? Y'all just dumping stuff in our blip because y'all can dump stuff in the blip. It's not
Understand, we
benefiting
don't
the
dump
town.
anything. These people asked to come over here.
I understand that.
These people came to us and wanted to
Well,
locate.
and that's the problem that I have, Mike, is the
We
fact
don't
that,
dump.
huh?
We don't dump. These people came to us and asked us to locate in the park. If
Okay.
you don't want them, there's other people that do.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't think we need them if you're not
But
gonna.
we don't have to have attitudes, we can be civil, okay? We don't have to have attitudes. So let's just talk calmly
But
and discuss things as they should be discussed. But first of all, you all are bringing companies in here that's only gonna permit jobs for 3 people here, 6 people here. And you're not bringing companies in that's gonna really, help Batesburg, Leesville, well, because mainly Leesville. You're not bringing jobs in here that's gonna really help us, because there's no job opportunities. You're not offering anything. You're just saying, okay, you can come in, but we're not offering you to put nobody to work.
That's what I call dumping.
And this is a 1 point.
Call it what you wanna call it. I call it dumping, and y'all, like you said, you got Fisher Tank in there, you got the asphalt plant in there, and now you're putting something else in there that could actually, is taking a place for something that could actually bring jobs. And Casey got $25 an hour, and we got nothing.
Councilman Kane, you actually hit on something I'd like to ask a question.
Yeah,
No,
I mean-
well, it's a question about that.
That's up to
And-
the mayor, he's running this meeting, not me, sir.
Mr. Mayor, would it be fine if I ask?
That's fine.
When I look at the site map that you've provided, one of my questions was, I know around this particular parcel, 1.76, I know there's a lot of existing wetland, that coming off of that pond. would it be feasible on parcel 6, or at least this portion of parcel 6, to have a much larger facility due to the detention ponds that are required by stormwater in addition to the wetlands? Or are y'all putting this on a piece of parcel where you wouldn't be able to necessarily have a large industry?
The conceptual plan, and I don't know what you're looking at.
It's this one that you had provided.
Shows basically a base building of 5,000 square feet with potential to expand to 10,000.
Right.
On that site with the on-site detention. This company actually initially wanted to buy the property at the corner of Endeavor and Venture. And we discouraged it from doing that because that's a prime lot. You don't want to use that prime lot for a small company, a small employer like that. Plus, as I explained to the gentleman also, there's a 50-foot setback on both of those roads, so he would be buying 50 feet on both streets that he essentially couldn't use except for a driveway or something. So that's why we moved him into that, into lot 6.
Okay.
It doesn't really convey the bulk of that lot.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Do you
But
feel
if I could address, again, about the jobs, every job is precious.
But it's not coming from Batesburg. You're not hiring nobody from Batesburg. You're not employing anybody from Batesburg.
So we don't control who these people employ.
I understand that, but no, y'all don't come back here asking for more space in that industrial park unless you're gonna bring some jobs. That's what the industrial park is for. Y'all just taking up space in there.
Do you feel like I mean, I'm looking at the map and it looks like the building, the first building is 5,000 square feet plus parking. Second phase of this project is another 5,000 square feet. Do you feel like this size company with what they're using is appropriate for the size, for the space, for the lot?
Yes, man.
Would we be able to get a bigger company on that lot?
It may be a little smaller initially. That is completely conceptual. That's our engineer's drawing, not theirs.
Okay, thank you.
I have to defer to Mr. Luckett. Have they filed a building plan yet with the town?
They have not.
Okay.
So I don't know what the actual footprint is going to be.
Okay. Any other discussion? So again, this is first reading ordinance consenting to the addition of 1.76 acres of real property in the Batesburg-Leesville Industrial Park and the multi-county industrial park with the County of Lexington and County of Calhoun. District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes no.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. First reading passes. Moving on to item 10, manager report. Mr. Luckett, if you would please.
All right, couple items for tonight. Since the last meeting, I wanted to begin and follow up. The town did receive our grant for $800,000 from the South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority. Last time I had reported that we put it in, it looked promising, but their board met and we were approved for the $800,000 to make repairs and improvements at the wastewater treatment plant. We were among 26 entities awarded funds in this funding cycle from the RIA. I think what's great about this year is the max that they give in a funding cycle is actually $500,000. But due to our application and the way that we've administered grants in the past in a timely fashion and really well, they did have some extra funds this year, and they actually reached out to us and asked us if we would be in favor of an additional $300,000. I don't know if there was an avenue to answer no to that question, but we certainly accepted that additional money. The application is a $1.2 million grant, so $800,000 of that will be covered by the state of South Carolina's Rural Infrastructure Authority, and we're very appreciative of that. We were one of 2 water and sewer providers within Lexington County that were awarded in addition to joint municipal water and sewer in this funding cycle. This project will replace the screw pumps that bring the sewage into the plant and will convert our current centrifuge process of dewatering the sludge to a rotary filter press system. These are two, we know about the aeration need that we have out there, and that is something that's on our radar moving forward in the future. But these are two major needs that we also have at the wastewater treatment plant, so we will be addressing those. And they are two needs that that South Carolina DHEC has identified in our sanitary sewer surveys that we've had. We do have some upfront work with some permitting and design work that will need to be done before we can actually go out to an RFP to bid this job and to get the calls from contractors. We are working to get that done. There's some environmental review work that we've got to do, so we're working on those things now. With this award, that now puts us at $1.4 million in grant-funded projects that we currently have going on with water and sewer projects with the town. So really excited about it. Speaking of another grant project, the Brody Mill Pump Station, we have ordered, the Lexington County did give us permission to order our pumps related to this project in advance because they actually have to do some construction to construct these pumps to fit within our pump station. So they allowed us to go ahead and order those pumps while we are getting bid documents together and everything like that to move forward because it will take a little bit of time. The environmental review process is underway for this project as well. We'll be drafting an RFP to go out to bid in the next couple of months for the entire scope of work. Once that's back, we will come to council with the contractor selection and request for any funds that we need towards that project. Street resurfacing in town, SCDOT contractors last week resurfaced Blaming Street, Marion Street, actually I think it was 2 weeks ago now. Blaming Street, Marion Street, and Circle Drive on Tuesday, May 28th. This was part of the contract for resurfacing throughout the town that was brought in a few months ago with some C funds that were converted back to Lexington County that we worked in conjunction with them to identify some roads in town that needed to be done. And speaking with our County Councilman Larry Brookham this week, the streets left to be resurfaced as a part of the CTC project are Academy Street, Bond Street, Fox Street, Smith Street, and Aiken Street. Those are remaining as a part of that.
Can you list those again for me?
The ones left to be done are Academy Street, Bond Street, Fox Street, Smith Street, and Aiken Street.
Academy and Bond have been done.
They have been completed, okay.
So those are to be completed when, approximately?
Do you know the timeline?
Those are contracted out, so I hate to say.
They're done in batches by DOT. This summer? Okay, sometime this summer.
And one other question, do we have a list that we're keeping of the streets that need to be resurfaced?
If you have a street that, one could argue most streets need to be resurfaced. As I come across the street, I will work to try and get it on. For example, today I was riding whatever the road right in front of the big blue marble right down through there.
That's Smith Street.
Smith Street, okay, it's coming up. I was riding down it and I'm like, wow, this street really could use being done. So it's on the list, it will be done. If you have a street, let us know because I don't think Lexington County, sometimes, you never know, they may have another pot of the CTC money and some return surplus of C funds given back to them at some point in the future. And if we can maintain the list, we're certainly happy to do so. Just like with the sidewalks, we'll maintain that because I know Larry will come knocking saying, hey, what streets do we have in town that need to be resurfaced, just as we did with this one, so.
So we don't have a list.
On there? Larry, Howard's on there, right?
Yes, I placed Howard.
And Maple.
And Maple. Yes.
Amen, amen.
So that'd be great if we had that list. Didn't you have a street?
Right now, I wouldn't say we have a master list at this point of roads, but we can certainly start one.
Okay, thank you.
Sidewalks, we do have a list. The next thing, wanted to update on the mosquito spray schedule, and certainly with this amount of rain that came, this has become even more important. People that have standing water, and a lot of this standing water is going to generate a lot of mosquito activity. The street department has done a first round of mosquito spraying for the year. At this time, we are slated to do mosquito spraying. I will try to go through this slow in case you want to make notes. June 17th, 18th, and 19th. July 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. August 19th, 20th, and 21st. September 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Of each of these days, the first day will be the south side of Batesburg. The second day will be the Leesville, entire Leesville area, and the third day will be the north side of Batesburg. That's the route that they take when they do their mosquito spraying. If you do have any, because we will be putting it out on Facebook, social media, hopefully Twin City News will help us with getting this word out about the spray schedule, and we will let them know the week before so they can put it out. If you hear of anyone that has a concern, maybe they're beekeepers or they have gardens, that it should not affect the gardens in a negative way, but some people still do not want this spray on their gardens, even though it's not harmful to their garden. If you hear of anyone that expresses any concern about that and wishes for us not to spray around their property, please tell them to contact Town Hall and let us know, and we will cut the machine off as we bypass their property and then cut it back on. So. All right, next thing, our water treatment plant has received recognition, so congrats to our water treatment plant as they were awarded the Certificate of Excellence for their laboratory proficiency testing and are recognized as a laboratory of excellence. This achievement is a demonstration of the superior quality of the laboratory and evaluation of hardness, coliforms, residual chlorine, inorganics, pH, and turbidity. I can tell you, since I've been with the town, this is the fourth time that I can remember that our water treatment plant has received this award, so congratulations to them.
Say that again.
Since I've been here, I know that this is 4 times that they've received it.
We get 4 years we've gotten awards for how good our water is.
For laboratory proficiency testing.
Okay.
In those categories.
Okay, so we got good water.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay, so I'm just saying that.
No, we do have good water.
I've been tarred and feathered for saying that we had good water and we didn't need a water plant.
Oh no, our samples show that we have very good quality water.
It's a miracle, right?
And the last thing that I want to report on is on June 20th at 6:00 p.m. here at Town Hall, the Comet Bus Service is wanting to have a public meeting for anyone that may have interest in utilizing rural transportation services to get to and from the Lexington area for whatever services they may need. The point of the public input session is to understand where do people need to go
Work.
and what services do people need and where in Lexington. Are there certain days of the week, certain times of the day? They want to get an understanding so that they can try to put together the best route to have the best service.
Now, does it have to go to Lexington? Because people that don't have cars, they don't necessarily work in Lexington. Some of them work down at, Amy Farms is one of the largest employers in the community.
Well,
Lewis Ridge.
Council McCain, what I would say is if people have needs for transportation services, have them come out June 20th. That's the feedback that they're wanting to receive.
Yeah.
6:00 p.m. here at Town Hall.
That's right. And anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but major things like that, I prefer would come to council first before we go to our constituents. And people are calling you saying, "What's up with the bus?" Like, I don't know what bus you talking about. You got to keep us informed about stuff like that, man.
That's all I have.
I have one comment. I think we should really ask the Twin City News and ask them to help us get that word out, because I think it's extremely important for all ages.
Right. And I think he is on putting together
I'm
something
sure.
about that.
And Teddy, one
Thank
thing
you.
before you leave. You know, we talk about doing streets and all of this stuff. And I've been asking you since I've been on council to do something with Line Street. And I have not heard it yet come up. You have not mentioned it one time.
Specifically with regards to
It
resurfacing.
needs resurfacing, it needs sidewalks, it needs everything. I have not heard you mention it.
Right, a lot of these are existing, a lot of the sidewalk projects we have going, number one, the C funds are not nearly enough to be able to tackle sidewalks, new sidewalks. That's anywhere in town. That's why we have to place the emphasis on repairing the existing sidewalks with those funds. Our TAP grant, currently our TAP grants are being used for the Highway 23 and Highway 1 portions of the sidewalk project. And so we're not eligible to apply for those at this point. If Line Street needs to be put on the list for resurfacing, we can certainly be happy to put that in the hands of our county council member to try and get it put on the list for resurfacing. But with regards to sidewalk, we just don't have a funding mechanism that we're eligible to apply for at this time.
If they resurface Line Street, they're gonna have to put sidewalks down. It don't make sense to do one without the other. It just needs to be a whole thing. But, I do have a question to follow up on. Did we have a final police report on the Bronson issue?
I'm not prepared to discuss that this evening.
We don't have it?
No, my understanding is the investigation still is not complete.
All right, the second thing.
I've not been informed that it is.
Okay, which detective?
I'd like to stay, if we can, on the manager's report listed on the agenda.
This is the manager's report. He's
It's
giving a report on what's going on in the town. Now, my other question is, what detective is working on the sign that was on the street that was changed, the turn only, the left turn only signal? Who did that?
That would be DOT.
Okay, well, who was investigating? Which detective?
I'm not sure at this point.
There is a police investigation into this, right?
I'm not sure at this point if they've started an investigation.
David, is there a police investigation into who vandalized our street?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, there may be.
Why not?
DOT would have to
I'm not a
request it.
supervisor.
Why would DOT have to request that? Somebody
They're
vandalized the
on the
street in
road.
Batesburg-Leesville.
But you did know about this. That
I had no
someone
clue
went and
about it,
put
no,
a
ma'am.
Okay, but are you trying to figure out who did it? Are you gonna get to the bottom of who did it?
No. Are you aware of this? That someone went and painted?
Ma'am, I'm aware.
Okay, well, who did it?
Nobody don't
I have
know
no
who did
idea.
it?
And you have not assigned a police officer or a detective?
I mean, that's right up
To
the street from my
investigate who
house.
did it?
It's right up the street from my house. And
And
people put a turn sign only lane, sign.
People could have gotten hurt.
People could have gotten killed.
Are you planning on investigating that? Are you gonna assign that to?
I'm not going to investigate it.
Well, I know you're not
Is
personally, but
DOT
you gonna ask.
this would be a question for DOT. It's a
No,
DOT.
this-
DOT would like.
Well, this is a DOT road, is that
Correct.
correct?
So have you
And so
talked
this
to
would
them
be,
about
DOT, my understanding is that DOT come out and corrected whatever
They
this
did,
problem was.
and it's actually
This would
identified
be-
better than.
This would be questions that I would ask the body of council to ask of DOT.
Why? Is that?
Because
not vandalism?
it's outside the jurisdiction.
Is that not vandalism to the street?
You'd have to ask DOT.
Why? This is our
Because
law. This is our town.
It's a DOT.
vandalism.
It's a DOT road.
So I can go and spray paint anything all over the damn town, and the police not gonna investigate? What's going
I
on? Why,
don't,
what do you,
my understanding is,
listen, y'all have to figure out if that is vandalism, which is against the law, right, Ted?
then I would imagine DOT would.
Why would
file a
DOT
report.
enforce the law?
Because the
Vandalism law.
DOT, it's their road.
Okay, this
It's their road.
is what I'm getting at. Y'all know who did it.
No,
And y'all don't want the police to investigate who did it, because y'all already know who did it. Okay? Other than that, why would you let this slide? This is a major thing.
How many times, okay, all right.
No, this was not somebody with a spray can. This was a heat seal sign. Why would y'all not investigate that? Okay, I'm gonna, I'll get DOT to do it, okay. If DOT investigates vandalism in our town.
Mr. Kane, I want to move on.
Is that right?
Can we move
That's
on?
right, they investigate vandalism? You don't consider that vandalism? Do you consider it vandalism or not?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
it could-
I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
At this time, yeah, at this time,
That was a big smack in the face for our town. You're not interested in knowing who did it, man?
sir, I've spoken with DOT.
Okay, what they say?
Yeah. What was told to me that morning that they don't know, but I'm moving on.
You're not interested in knowing who did it?
It's been corrected, I can't undo it, I don't know that there's anything
Just say you don't
that
care,
was,
that's fine.
well, that's your words, Mr. Kane, that's not my
That's what you're
words.
saying. I mean,
We're moving on,
Words are words, you don't want to know.
moving on,
Point of order.
thank you. Moving on to, there is no executive session this
Nothing
evening.
here.
Possible actions by council, nothing there. Any potential agenda items for the July 8th meeting? If there are no items for the July 8th meeting, do I have a motion to adjourn?
We do have one item for.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. One item for July
I
8th.
remember what it was. Oh, well. I didn't talk myself so much, I can't remember what I was gonna say, there, Mayor.
Sorry, I'm sure we'll be able to get it on there.
I'm sure you'll get it.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Prowse, do I have a second? Ms. Etheridge, any discussion? Thank you very much. District 1, to adjourn.
I'm gone, yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 3,
Yeah, let's get out of here.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and the mayor votes yes. Thank you this evening for coming, everyone.